let me introduce you to Happier. That's right, we're going to call this car Happier in honor of the original owner who had custom plates made for this car with that name. This is a 1970 280 SL. It just arrived here at my shop today after a rather interesting journey. And let me tell you the story of how this all came down. This, by the way, could be one of the last barn finds of a rust-free 280 SL in the world. I mean, this is a very unusual find, and finding it in this original condition, even with the moss. Now, I know some of you are going to say, wow, look at all that patina, you should just leave it. Well, probably we won't be leaving the moss, but I doubt whether we'll really restore this car. In future videos in this series, I'm going to take you around the car and show you why we may leave it original. But it is going to need some mechanical restoration and some rewiring, and we're going to get on it right away as soon as we get this thing cleaned up. But I wanted to kind of document the acquisition of the car because, as many of you know, these finds are very rare and they come about in, you know, this was almost an accident. This car was purchased brand new in Seattle. It spent its entire life on an island here in Puget Sound. And the original owner who owned this car was a school teacher for many, many years. And she was driving this on a daily basis. So that's right, a daily driver. And when we heard about the car, we went and looked at it. And the first time I saw it, we came around the corner under the lean-to, and the first thing we noticed was all the moss. But you know, it hadn't been sitting outside, it had just been sitting under the lean-to. So as we walked around, we said, wow, look at this. The paint, there's no dents. Number one, there was absolutely no rust out on the car, no rust out anywhere as we went around the car. So we were kind of excited to contact the original owner, and my daughter Kaya called her up and asked her about the car and asked her about wanting to sell it. And within 3 or 4 days, this was just a week ago, she called back and said, yes, I would like you to own this car. I would like you to. And she had one condition, by the way, one condition. She said, you have to give me a ride in it when you're done. And of course, we're going to do that. Patty is a great lady. You know, she's up in years, but she still loves this car. And it was quite tearful for her, by the way, when she had to say goodbye to it. So earlier today, we got the trailer and the truck, and we headed out to the island, and you know, rolled down into the driveway of the shop. It's been sitting at the shop for a couple years, and we, you know, it took a while. We didn't have a power winch, of course, but we got this thing winched up on the trailer and then headed back. And let me tell you, it was great. The sun was shining. It was a beautiful ferry ride. It wasn't a long ferry ride, but it was a beautiful ferry ride with this thing sitting on the trailer with the Puget Sound in the background. And then we rolled on back here to the farm and unloaded this thing, and here it sits. Just look at it. I mean, when you're looking at it on the camera angle, you think, man, that thing is really dirty, but wait, just wait. We're going to start here in a few minutes. We're going to start cleaning this thing up. I want to show you the engine. It's got the classic 280 engine in it, fuel-injected 6-cylinder. I'll open the hood here and you can take a close look at it before we start cleaning it and detailing it. Well, here's the engine in all its original glory. It does not run. It has not run in 4 years. Now, I don't think that's going to be a big problem. Not like the problem that I'm having with my 6.3, as some of you know about, we've watched my other videos. But we're going to start, you know, once again with the fuel system. We're going to have to drain the tank, check the condition of the fuel tank, fuel pumps, replace hoses, fuel filters, get fuel going up to the injection pump, and then, of course, replacing all the fluids and the filters. I suspect we're going to have some brake problems. You know, that's typical of a 4-year sit for a car like this. We're going to have calipers that are going to need work on. But the primary reason this car was parked 4 years ago is because it had a wiring meltdown under the dash. So let's take a look on the inside. You can see what it looks like right now before we begin. It's a lot of fun to sit inside this W113 chassis. You know, I love these old Pagoda roofs because there's enough headroom for a tall guy like me to get in this car, and it's really quite comfortable compared to other sports cars. You can see right away that this original interior is not all that bad. You know, it's going to need some detailing, but you know, the dash pieces are in nice shape, the wood pieces, even the seats are, the upholstery on the MB Tex is not torn. The carpets look real nice. Now you can see here part of the dash is torn out, and that's because you know, a mechanic started to try to do something with this wiring, but he decided it was just too big a job. The problem, according to Patty, the owner, was started with this headlight switch. Apparently the headlight switch got loose, fell out, shorted against some steel on the back side of this dash here, and you can see where the wiring started to overheat. And then of course she said when she was driving the car, the smoke just started rolling out from under the dash, and that happened in 2010. So the car has sat since then, but I think it's pretty well preserved, and this thing is going to be a lot of fun to detail out, and you'll get to see some of the process of how we're going to go through this in the upcoming videos. Hey, check this out. Look at the condition of the chrome on here on this car. I mean, there's no pitting, and of course, I'm sure many of you are admiring this original patina here. I know that some are going to say, Kent, you shouldn't even wash it. You should leave it all original. We've got a little bit of damage to the taillight lens here, but even the chrome on the rear bumpers is in excellent condition. So let's look inside. The deck lid, this is an aluminum deck lid, by the way, and it is super straight. And these are tough to do body work on if they're damaged, but this is, as well as the hood, are in excellent condition. And you can see from looking inside, you know, we've got the classic needles from it sitting, but it's very clean. We've got the original stickers here, you know, the spare tire cover in here, and even the toolkit is hiding in here somewhere. But that is an excellent, excellent original trunk. You know, this is a very special car with a very special owner. Patty was quite emotional about giving this up. You can imagine having owned it since 1970. And I personally want to thank Patty. Picked the car up, I had her come over, and I let her get in the car. She kind of got in the car and sat in there for the last time. Of course, we will be giving her a ride in the future, but both Kai and I want to thank her for letting us have the opportunity to own this car. It was really important to her who was going to own it and how it was going to be treated after she let it go. So a big thanks to her for the privilege of owning this very rare and unique 280 SL. Now we're going to start today. You know, the patina is going to have to go. I'm sorry, but we're going to start washing and detailing this car out today. And follow along in the other parts in this series as we go through the process of getting this sweetheart back on the road real soon.